very good morning. In this video, we're going to be doing a small weekend trip to London. And where we're going to be starting from, we're starting from Dorking railway station. Now, I was wanting to start this from Horsham. Indeed, I wanted to do a bus ride from my mum's village because buses down here cost only £3 single one way, regardless of distance. But unfortunately, the buses don't work on a Sunday. So I've come to Dorking and I've left a car here, which costs about £7.80 for 2 days. So we've got our ticket. I decided to go with the ticket office. And instead of using the app, I've got a ScotRail app. It does work, but last time I tried to use it, it said payment processing error when I had only 1 or 2 minutes to go to catch the train, which kind of shook my confidence in it. But the first train to London is London Victoria, and that's departing at 7:43. Well, last time I used these trains in the south of England, they were all slammed or rolling stock, which tells you how long it's been since I've been using the trains down here. These are the Class 375 trains. They've been around for about 20 years now, if I recall. The last time I used the trains was about 2002-ish.
So the theme of this 2-day trip is going to be transportation. We're going to be exploring different modes of transportation in London, including regular forms and not so obvious forms of transportation which you may not know about. We're also going to be having a look at a couple of museums and exhibitions as well, all related to the theme of transport.
Okay, so let's find the underground. There we go. It's been such a long time since I've been here. So you just use your debit card for this. So it's tap on and tap off. So we're going to be using I think it's the District and Circle lines.
Please take care in and around the station.
So we want to get to Westminster and get onto the Jubilee line. Very odd, going upstairs, going downstairs and then going upstairs. Ah, here we are. Right, I think this is it. This is District and Circle line, I guess. No, this is Victoria line. No, it is. Yes.
The next station is Westminster. Change for the Jubilee line.
Mind the gaps, please.
Okay, so Jubilee line I think opened in the year 2000 or sometime like that, and we're going to North Greenwich. And one of the things about the Jubilee line, especially at Waterloo, I believe it's the deepest underground station, and therefore it's the deepest station for a standard gauge railway. And considering I've just been to Carraw Station, the highest station in the UK on standard gauge railway, this should be, oh, I'm going the wrong way. I think it's fitting to get to this location. Oops, sorry. Let's get in here.
Change here for Circle and District Line. Exit here for Westminster Abbey and Houses of Parliament.
This is very tapered. Okay, so we are going to a cable car. This is North Greenwich. So we need to use the opposite end exit for the cable car. Okay, so this is the O2 Arena. I think we continue going this way. Very sunny day today. I think we're going to have a good day. But I've run out of signs saying where the cable car is. You know, this is an example of what I mean by bad signage. I follow that sign to the cable car. I go this way, you know, follow the signs precisely. I end up at a crash barrier for the bus station. I have to say, that's not too impressive, unfortunately. Right, well, I found the cable car. Very good. But there's a reason I took the train in instead of driving in. At the very least, you've got to pay £15 a day congestion charge, which I believe is only applicable in the afternoon on a Saturday and Sunday, but you still have to pay it. Additionally, you have to pay for parking, and I don't know what the rates are here, but I suspect it's not cheap. So it's much cheaper in my estimation. Just forget how maddening London traffic can be. I do believe it's much cheaper to just simply take the train into London and take a look around. But I do suspect I'll probably be spending about 40 quid on transport overall by the end of this. I think there's a daily limit in terms of zone 1, 2 and 3 travel in terms of how much it's going to cost you. I think it's something like just over £10 or something. Right, here we are. We'll take the cable car across to there and get my big camera ready. So I'm told this is tap in, tap out. Hello. There we go. Okay, thank you. Right, here we are. Very good. So, on our way. I think this is going to be one of the most scenic forms of public transport in London. And here we are at the top, crossing the River Thames now. So what we got over here, we've got London City Airport. Really quite easy to get to London City Airport, gonna have to say. This is just, it's a really good clear day for looking at London today. I'm really pleased I took this day today. But it's quite buffety, I have to say. There's a bit of a sway here. So you can look right down the London City runway from this point, or a little bit higher up anyway. Here we go. So, and that is the cable car. So what we're going to do now is go to the DLR Royal Victoria, and then we're going to go to another station. So we'll follow this sign. Whilst the distance from the cable car to Royal Victoria is not too far, you've only got one sign telling you the general direction in which Royal Victoria is supposed to be. But so I like from a tourist perspective having a situation where your hand is held at all times, and that's not the case here. But anyway, Royal Victoria, right here. So that's where we want to be. So I'm at Canning Town. Royal Victoria was shut. So I walked across to Canning Town, and we're going to take the DL up from here. Sorry. So we're going to Poplar, which is on platform 4, and platform 4 is this way, so we'll go that way. The next place, 8 minutes time. So DLR has a third rail system, but the third rail has an underside pickup rather than the third rail system you have on the Southern Railways network. But I'm not too sure what this central piece is. I'm guessing that's your earth. It looks very earthy to me. We are going to be going to Island Gardens next. We're at Poplar right now. Not too sure why Lewisham is not showing up on the departure boards. It says Canary Wharf there. We're there, Canary Wharf is there, we want to get to there. Why isn't this being shown? So I didn't know you could sit at the front and watch things from a cab driver's perspective, but this is a really cool thing now. This is now my favourite way of transport.
This train is for Canary Wharf. The next stop is West India Quay. Change. The next stop is Canary Wharf, where this train will terminate. All change for London Underground Jubilee Line, Elizabeth Line, and stations towards Greenwich and Lewisham. Okay, so the distance between West India Quay and Canary Wharf has to be the shortest distance between stations I've ever seen. It's less than the length of the train. It's really odd, but this is where we change. And apparently we get off here, and then we take this platform for Lewisham. You know what? I do like the view from the front, so I'm going to go there.
So here we are at Island Gardens. Our next location that we're going to go to is Greenwich Foot Tunnel. So we are going to go this way. Follow this road, this lane down, Douglas Path. Follow the signs to Thames Path. So before we head into the foot tunnel, let's just take a look at the riverside. So, the way into the foot tunnel is in this building here. We take these spiral staircases down. And here we are. So it's quite a popular place. When you hear the sound of the noise up ahead, it sounds like there's a lot of people in this tunnel. It just sounds like a massive crowd, but actually it's not really. The sound just travels quite a long way. But this takes us to an interesting place, and I want to talk about that when we get to the other end. It's pretty cool. We've got the River Thames right above our head. And now at the south end of the tunnel, it's time to take the spiral staircase up and out, and we'll see what we see at the top. So, at the top, what do we have here? None other than the Cutty Sark. So a few facts about the fastest sailing ships in the world. So in historical terms, the Sovereign of the Seas was the fastest sailing ship. It was a clipper, I think it was a passenger ship. 22 knots was the fastest speed. Cutty Sark, however, was a cargo ship, and that was the fastest cargo ship in the world, 17.5 knots. But when it comes to the fastest voyage, which is a sustained speed to Melbourne, that was 65 days, and that was achieved with a ship called Thermopylae. And interestingly, the office I work at is called Thermopylae House. Old Royal Navy College. Sadly, no time for the Maritime Museum. Love to visit, but another trip to London no doubt will be required. So we get to this point. It's called One Tree Hill Vista Point, and I think you'll agree it's quite a decent view from up here. I think I'll get my big camera out for this one. Oh wow, that is magnificent. Now if you want to get free views which you don't have to pay for, come to Greenwich Park. It is stunning on a day like today. The view looking out west over the city, it's incredible. I've been to Singapore, and you know that's a stunning city in its own right, but the weather conditions there rarely allow for you to get such good clear views like what I've just managed to see today. But now we're going to be heading back down to the river. I don't quite know where the prime meridian line in the ground, as marked in the ground, is. I think that's right up at Greenwich Observatory, so that's another reason for me to come back to this location. But what a stunning place this is, it really is. Oh, interesting pub coming along. It's definitely very interesting. Okay, so there is an Uber boat which is just coming along and I want to get on it because I think they only go every 20 minutes. Okay, Greenwich Pier, so this is river, so we'll go this way. Is this for the Uber boat? Yes. Okay. Right, so we go this way. Hello. Yes. Hold on. Okay. Thank you. Cheers. You know, I do have to say, tapping in and tapping out is one of the best things to happen to public transport. And the thing about it is that you don't need an account, apart from your own bank, of course. You just tap, it's just so simple. And it works in so many different cities as well. I've used it in Singapore, we've used it in Milan. It just works. It's how payment should be. So obviously we're not going on that one. They're not letting us on for some reason. I think this is our one.
Even though my contract.
Thank you.
Okay, so we got open air. This works for me. Coming up to Tower Bridge.
Oh, that's the Sky Garden. That's what I said about taking you to.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, it's very busy. Oh, sorry. Well, I'm going to have to say, coming to see Tower Bridge for real, you start to understand why it's such a global attraction. It's a stunning place. It really is. And it's not just that. It's the whole surroundings for it. It's just iconic. I mean, just look at that. You know, I've been to Milan and I've been to Ljubljana this year and I've been to Singapore. And I'm going to have to say, I don't think London's going to ever get old in terms of coming here for doing a little bit of tourism. So this is HMS Belfast, launched in 1938, and it's seen quite a lot of action in World War II. Well, this is the actual London Bridge. Well, these streets are really very busy. I'm hoping we can find some shortcuts. Once you get to the Millennium Bridge, you can't go along the banks. I think we can go down Green Dragon Court here. but it looks, oh my goodness, it's very busy here. This isn't a shortcut at all, but it is making me feel hungry. I'm looking at all this and thinking to myself, it really does smell yummy. Well, one of the things about taking an alternative route is being able to find some somewhat less crowded places to have some lunch. So I'm now completely refilled and ready to take on the afternoon. So what we have here is St Paul's Cathedral and the Millennium Footbridge. And that, I think, is Blackfriars Station. Well, that was the Millennium Bridge, and I have to say, very nice views from it. Well, I'm having a bit of a diversion just now. I was going to go to the London Transport Museum, since this trip is transport themed after all. But my friend who lives in London flashed up a message to me saying that the Royal Automobile Society has got an event going on near Pall. So that's where we're going to be heading, and hopefully there'll be some interesting things to talk about which are transport themed in London. We are heading to St James's Park, which is 4 stations along.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
And we're heading to Pall, and that's where the Royal Automobile Society is. Quite a few barnacle geese here. Hello there. And also some squirrels, the grey ones. Busy place, but very pretty. I've never been to St James's Park before. So this, I believe, is Pall Mall. No, that wasn't Pall Mall. That was the mall. But we're coming up to Pall Mall now. So I think this is going to be very busy. So this is the event. St James's Motoring Spectacle. This is Lotus. Wow, I thought this was a Chinese brand for some reason. Obviously, lots of people rode these in the Victorian period, so it must have required not very much skill to operate them.
Quite skills.
Yep.
They weren't around for very long.
Okay.
This particular style of bike was only around for 15 years.
15. Oh, that's not very long at all. No.
1870 to 1885.
Yep.
By 1885, the Rover safety bicycle came in.
Yep.
And these were went out of fashion.
I can imagine that, yeah.
Because this is the first thing to be called a bicycle.
Yep.
And it hasn't got a lot of things going for it.
No.
If anything, it's not really good. If you press down on this pedal, it wants to turn the wheel that way.
I can imagine. Oh, yes.
Same on the other side, it wants to turn the wheel the other way.
Yes.
Then, when you turn the wheel, your leg is now rubbing on the wheel.
Okay,
Yeah?
yep.
If you turn that way, your leg is in here, so you get involved.
It's getting fouling the spokes, basically.
And your centre of gravity is here.
Yes.
So if you hit anything with a bump,
Yep.
you go straight over the bump.
Okay, all right. Yep. So the evolution was very rapid after this, basically.
They came up with the chain, they could get the chain small enough.
Yep.
You could gear the bike.
Yep.
And they came up with the Rover safety bicycle, which had two wheels the same size.
Yes.
A geared chain.
Very good. So this looks like an e-bike, but it's styled like a motorbike.
I'm ex-army, right? So yeah. Right. So £10 became £100.
Well, that was really very interesting. I had no idea that the Royal Automobile Club was anything more to do with heritage than it was to do with breakdown cover. That's the side of the RAC that most people associate with them, and yet there's a lot more to the RAC than just breakdown cover. What do you reckon? Do you reckon it would look better with a traffic cone? I'm not too sure. So I'm now skirting around the edge of Hyde Park, and just to get to a point 2/3 of the way in, it's about 27 minutes walk according to Google Maps. So it's quite a big park. So this is the middle 2/3 of Hyde Park. According to Google Maps, this is called the Physical Energy Statue. But
Oh, so like that one.
right, so here's our hotel, the Mornington Kensington. We'll go in and take a look. So, that is the bathroom. Pretty small. And the bedroom, let's go here, also pretty small. But I'm going to be absolutely frank, this is a clean hotel room. We have got air conditioning as well. And it's pretty quiet. It looks out into a courtyard. I can't really complain about very much at all. Bear in mind, in March, low season in Scotland, I was paying £125 a night for bed and breakfast. Now this place is £105 a night, not including breakfast, but that's £20 if you want it. Well, time for some food before showtime. Well, here we are, Earl's Court Station. So we take the district line to Embankment. Well, here it is. This is where the show is. So, I'll catch you in the morning. Oh, good morning. That's quite interesting. Well, one of the things I really like about this hotel is the fact that it's about 3 minutes walk away from the tube station. So this is Earl's Court. It's a bit of a transport hub in its own right. We're going to be taking the Piccadilly line to the London Transport Museum. we are heading to Covent Garden on the Piccadilly line. Okay, Covent Garden, Piccadilly line. I've made a mistake. It's 15 floors from the station platform to street level. You know what? I do plenty of hills in Scotland. It should be fine. So this is Covent Garden. It's 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. The museum doesn't open until 10. And in fact, no museums seem to open until 10. So we're just going to do a little bit of walking around. Covent Market. Shall we take a look in here? Ah, what a nice roof. That's cool. I like it. Oh, London Transport Museum. And that is the market hall. And the sun's coming out. Isn't that nice? You know, I don't have to go on too much of a random wander around London in order to come across some famous locations like Lord Nelson's Column, for example. I mean, my goodness, there are just so many iconic views you can have in Trafalgar Square, and yeah, it's really quite great. And you know what? I think it's much better to do it on a Sunday morning when the sun is just come out and there aren't too many tourists around here. I can imagine later in the day this place is going to be absolutely heaving. Well, it's £25 admission to the London Transport Museum. That's an annual pass. So that is, and it's the same price whether it's a day ticket or an annual pass. So you can come back later on another London trip. So this is 1938 tube stock. The interesting thing about this is that these have been used on the Isle of Wight up until the year 2021. That's a good innings for railway stock, don't you think? And I bet you the seats were more comfortable as well than what they've got now. Well, they do look more comfy. Let's give this a go. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Well, that's the London Transport Museum done. About an hour in there. What do I think of it? I think it is fascinating, but it is not definitive. There are certain aspects of London transport which are not well represented there. So heavy rail, for example, isn't there at all. The river ferries that we used yesterday, no, not very much mention of that, except in terms of history from the Victorian period. I was about to say there wasn't too much in terms of engineering, in terms of signalling, for example, or in terms of what the future of the Underground has got in terms of future plans. And I think those things would be very interesting. But I was really glad to see that there was at least something related to engineering. But it is very much aimed towards kids. It didn't talk about moving block signal technology, for example, or indeed the challenges of automating the London Underground. So, yeah, I think you need to go to the National Railway Museum up in York to get a fuller illustration of the heavy rail aspects of transportation in London. So where we're going to next is the London Postal Museum, and in my opinion that is definitely a transport themed museum with which we should go to. So I chose to walk. You could take a bus service, but it was only reduced my journey distance by a third. Hello.
All right.
This is this way? Okay. So this is the mail rail. So this is a separate building. So we'll go in here and have a look. One of the things which I'm quite interested in is the fact that this train's electric, but I can't find. It must be battery electric. I can't see any live rail at all. So that's the battery, and it looks like a lead acid version. Right.
Yeah, you alright? Yes, absolutely fine, thank you.
That is tight.
One leg here, one leg here, one leg here. Yeah, there you go.
We ask all passengers to remain seated for the duration of the ride.
I am. I have no to do that.
It was an engineering marvel.
Our rail ran almost non-stop, night and day, for over 75 years until 2000.
Describe it for us.
When Rail was running, this platform would be a hive of activity. You could see people playing darts between the trains riding. Guys.
It was hard. Further down that tunnel, it looks like a maintenance crew is checking the flood barriers.
Okay, thank you. That is tight. So these were the original mail trains, and these are also battery electric. That was well worth a visit. But we're going back to the main Postal Museum. I've got one question to ask. Do we have anything about the night train? The one that crosses the border, carrying the cheque and the postal order with letters for the rich and letters to the poor? Let's go and find out. So the answer is yes, we do have that famous poem for the night mail train. And we've got the whole documentary as well. Not only that, but you can also get a postage stamp here as well, as you'd hopefully expect. There are so many museums in other countries which don't sell postage stamps, even though they sell postcards. But this is a postcard which I'm going to send to Mum. So here we have got this post office here. Post box, that is going to have a special postage stamp at Mount Pleasant. But just a word of caution, don't use those post boxes on the wall. I mean, honestly, the post office museum was really fascinated. I did not know about the cats being on the post office payroll, for example. They got about £1 a week, and they never received a pay rise for quite a long time, from the late 1800s until it was raised in Parliament in the mid 1950s. So poor cats, but they apparently had the Amalgamated Union of Mouse Operatives. So continuing our transport-themed weekend trip, there's one more place we need to go. We need to go up. And with that in mind, I'm talking about elevators. And there are several elevator options you can take. We're going to go to the gardens at 120 Fenchurch Street. Now, you can get a high viewpoint there. Apparently it's free and you don't have to pre-book. I checked whilst I was having my lunch at the Postal Museum, and it's at 73% capacity at this moment in time. So what we're going to do is we're going to be taking the Elizabeth line for a short stop. Okay, so Elizabeth line, that's what we want. And we're turning off to the right. That's a deeper one. So we are wanting Liverpool Street, which is the next one, to Abbey Wood, 3 minutes. So I'm just heading to the east end of the platform because one of the things I noticed on Google Maps is that the exit from Liverpool Street is at the east end. So it's worth going a bit further away from the main concourse. Here we are, coming along. There we go.
This is an Elizabeth.
So, interesting facts about Liverpool Street. It is now the busiest station by passenger numbers in the United Kingdom. It used to be Waterloo, but ever since the opening of the Elizabeth line, this one has taken the #1 spot. Well, this place more has a feel of what you'd see in Singapore or maybe even New York. Lots of large skyscrapers. No, we're not going to that one. We're going to go this way. There's more iconic skyscrapers everywhere. So we should be at 120 Fenchurch Street here, or the garden at 120. Ah, here it is, right there. So we'll go this way. Okay, so there is a queue, but it's not the biggest queue in the world, so that's fine.
Én nagy cipzár megjavító vagyok egyébként. Vissza. Thanks, Dad. Tényleg a vesztendőség.
All right, let's have a look. Nice view. Big view.
But near the stairs, this is.
Yeah, one of the big problems with this viewing platform is that whilst most people would be absolutely satisfied with it, having glass here means you get lots of reflections, which is not good for top quality photographs, unfortunately. But nonetheless, we'll try. So you can stand about there, and you can stand on this here and just poke your camera above the top of the glass. That just about works. If you stand closer to here, the glass is much higher up. So that is the garden at 120 all done. And I'm going to have to say, we're running out of time, unfortunately. It's 3 o'clock, and we're going to have to start making our way back to Victoria Railway Station and wrap up this nice grand weekend out, shall we say. Now, as I make my way to the District Line, one idea I want to try and muse is the idea of coming back to London and doing it a bit different. I want to do it like a game of Monopoly, and I want to find a place which has got the word go in it. I want to bring a Monopoly board and a roll of dice, roll the dice, and I find a street that I land on, and then take transportation to that street and find out what there is about this street when I get there. And then we continue that game until, is this the right way? I think it's not. I think we carry on this way. We just carry on that game until we get to all the streets, or until we get back to go again. And ideally, I'd need another player to do this, but I think it would be a rather novel way of doing London. Okay, here's where we're going. Tower Hill Station. So we are aiming for the 1551 railway train to Dorking. We just missed the 1524, it's now 1525. So we have to change at Clapham Junction. Okay, so we can get this West Croydon train to Clapham Junction, and then we'll change there. And I've never stepped foot at Clapham Junction. So we're heading off to platform 11. Yeah, these ones are very old trains. These are from the 1980s. They make the same sounds with the air compressors as those slam door trains we once had. Well, whilst Liverpool Street might be the busiest in terms of passengers, Clapham Junction is the busiest in terms of the number of train movements. It has got 17 platforms here, and they're all through platforms, so none of the trains hang about.
This train is called Dorking.
Well, that is pretty much the end of my London weekend trip, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been something which I really want to do again. I've been to many cities on city breaks, but going to one that's local to where my mum lives is actually, in my opinion, one of the best city breaks I've had, actually. And I want to do it again, but this time I want to do it on a sleeper train from Aberdeen. And I think that would just make it a little bit more interesting. Maybe the sleeper train from Aberdeen and then catch catch a plane home. Anything's possible. But I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon.